founder of the one and only Psychic News Network. Welcome. It is January 10th, 2024, and Elliot's back. Elliot is back. Elliot the Democracy Elf. Let me explain. Elliot thinks that I need some help. So he and Judy, they had a little chat, and since they had so many snow delays because of the weather, I mean they couldn't fly to Bermuda, so they decided to stick around. Because even though I don't have his little sign on him, he's the Democracy Elf too. So the Democracy Elf is going to be around for a little bit longer because he wants to help us to save our democracy and to make sure that you're doing your job. But honestly, I went to pick him up and his head came off, so I think he might be a little bit overwhelmed. I don't know what happened. His head came off, so I'm gonna have to glue him back together. I guess the Democracy Elf job was a bit too much for him and he kind of lost his head. I can understand that. So we're gonna put him back up here with Judy, and I'll glue his head back on. It was just too much. The news is just too much. We're in an interesting place. And I think I mentioned, yes I did, the other night, I mentioned to you that I'm 100% all in on doing whatever we need to do to save our democracy. And I want to know that you too are all in on doing whatever we need to do to save our democracy. I did listen to Chris Christie's, what do they call it? They suspend their campaign. I did listen to him. What a day it's been. And hats off to Chris Christie. I know I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but there's one thing that unites us all, and that's that we don't want an authoritarian takeover of our government. And so everybody in the United States of America, regardless of party, we know this, but some things just need to be said. Everybody in the United States of America has to be on board with that we don't want to be under a fascist dictatorship, right? Yeah, the candle's on, a Yule candle. I'm using up my Christmas stuff. So I'm going to do more videos. Yeah. The hearing today. Oh my gosh, there's so much to go over. We'll try to cover it all, but we do this 3 times a week. I'm going to do more videos now. I told you that on Monday. I'm going to do more videos. So I'm going to do our live stream so we can talk. And then I'm going to do some uploaded videos that you can watch whenever you want. And we're just going to stay on top of things. So is anybody else on board with me? Let's make a pact. 100% all in on saving our democracy. Like the Revolutionary War soldiers. All in. And just to illustrate my point, all in. Thank you. This is like when I started Grassroots of Democracy. I had people at the very, very beginning. I had you all email me to be part of Grassroots of Democracy and email me IAYE. Yes, you're making me feel so good right now that you're all in. So we want to get the numbers up for our Grassroots of Democracy group, so please join. If you can't make it to the meetings, you'll receive copious notes. And so let's not be shy. Let's sign up. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com. We had a great meditation last night. I do feel, thank you for your support of democracy. It's about all of us. The the powerful meditations we've been doing on Tuesday nights, I do feel are working because we're visualizing what we want to see happen. Yes, Amy, good for you. Protested in the 70s and never stopped. I did post something today of the 1969 March on Washington against the Vietnam War. And you may have seen it on the community page, and which I expressed that, really to my horror, nothing personal. I've just heard a lot of people say earlier, maybe like several months ago, I protested in the 60s. I shouldn't have to do this again. No, if you protested in 1969, 1970s, then we need that experience and we need that help. And whoever protested in the 60s, whoever protested in the 60s, America needs you. America needs you. Because in the 60s, the protesters stopped the Vietnam War. Right? So, just think about it. If you're a boomer and you protested in the 60s, you saw results happen. The Civil Rights Act happened. The war brought down LBJ, Warren saying. You ended the war in Vietnam. This is the expertise that we need. So 100% all in. When we last left our story, we were talking about the appeals court and what was going on with all that. Miss Orchid's garden was on the scene at Kent State. Yeah. Wow. That's intense. Yeah, LBJ quit, right? So we need you. We need you. We don't want to hear anything. Nobody wants to hear, I'm too old, I'm too... We don't talk like that around here, right? I'm talking to the people that were protesting in the 60s. You don't have to put it up there that you were too little. No need. So the appeals court. Let's talk about that. Let's talk. I love you all so much. You know that, right? I hope you know that. You give me hope. Everybody here gives me hope. It's absolutely God's honest truth. You heard Trump's lawyer. There's this saying, if somebody shows you who they are, if somebody tells you who you are, believe them. Don't question. Don't do a Susan Collins. I always remember that moment when Trump got impeached. I think it was for January 6th. Sometimes it's hard to keep track. Might have been for the first time. Extorting, fake dirt on Joe Biden from Zelensky, attempting to. So when his lawyer, I don't know what's wrong with that guy's voice. He sounds like Robert Kennedy. It was really grating, and just to add insult to injury, it was so hard to listen to him. It's not personal. I'm sure he would rather have a better speaking voice, but I get mad. He said, all right, so this is how it's presented, right? When you hear people talking about it on the news. The judge presented a hypothetical. One of the judges presented a hypothetical. And hang on, Warren, we'll do a hug when I'm not mid-sentence. So the hypothetical being, if the president instructed the SEALs to assassinate his opponent, would he be immune from prosecution for doing that, for ordering a murder? And Trump's lawyer basically said that he couldn't be prosecuted because of presidential immunity. Sounded like a demon lawyer. You took the words right out of my mouth. I wasn't going to say that. But I do pay attention to those things. And symbolism. It's not a hypothetical. It's what he actually is trying to get off the hook for that almost happened. Judge Pan, yeah, asked him that. It's not a hypothetical. I'm just saying. I'm making the point. It's not really a hypothetical. It's not really something we can look at and go, oh yeah, that's just a hypothetical. That would have never happened. He incited a violent riot on our capital and wanted people dead. We heard all about it. We saw it with our eyes. We saw the gallows. We knew from their way they screamed and the way they pooped all over the Capitol and pissed all over the Capitol and hang Mike Pence, and the alarms are going off. And what did Trump do? He sat there and he said Mike Pence deserved what's coming for him. That was not a hypothetical. That was an actual thing that scenario actually happened. Yeah, I know, Damon. No, we didn't see that, says the GOP. And I love that Chris Christie, by the way, said and pointed out, I mean, hats off to him. As much as he can be so annoying, hats off to him. Warren, hang on. Lots of love. Hats off to Chris Christie that he pointed out that during one of those debates, and there's another one tonight, during one of those GOP debates, when the question was asked, if Donald Trump is a convicted felon, would you still support him? Chris Christie was the only one that raised his hand. I know he dropped out. That's what I'm talking about. So basically, they're all on board with having a convicted felon be... Yeah, he was the only one that raised his hand and said no, Warren, right? So it's okay with them to have a convicted felon who is interested in overthrowing our government as president. That's called a dictator. All right, we'll do a group hug now. 1, 2, 3. Group hug of support. You're all in on saving democracy. I can feel it. Very good. Trump is forcing us to take a stand against fascism, and that's why I was asking you, yeah, thank you for saying that. That's why I'm asking you if you're all in, because we are going to feel better. And Lois is saying Trump is toast, but we can't be behaving as if Trump is toast, because if we go, oh, he's not going to go anywhere, I've said it many, many times, the cards show us where the energy is now. And we have to steer the trajectory into saving democracy, because you know what? It's not just about America. It's about the rest of the world, because the rest of the world looks to America to lead the way. So we're more responsible than maybe we realize for the well-being of the planet Earth. And my God, when people complain about Joe Biden's age, I seriously have this thought. It's because of Joe Biden that we're not like in World War III right now. So honestly, let's get to the cards, shall we? And I want to acknowledge that, and I think it's really important when we go through whatever we're going through, you know, as individuals or as a collective, I think it's really important that we talk about how we're feeling. Dad joke, why did the golfer bring two pairs of pants in case he got a hole in one? You know, the thing about dad jokes is they're so bad that you're supposed to be able to come up with the rest of the joke, you know, the answer to the joke, the riddle. Anyway, I want to just acknowledge right here that we are in a collective trauma. We have been since Trump occupied the White House. We're in a collective trauma, and I want to describe what I'm feeling. We used to be able to count on people in general to do the right thing. The right thing meaning, I wouldn't want that done to me, so I'm not going to do that to that person. we're in a collective trauma and nobody's addressing it. I don't see anybody addressing it. I really don't. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. We used to be able to trust that the person who occupied the White House wanted to do a good job for the people. We used to be able to trust that. We have normalized way too many things. Yes, Trump abused you. Yeah, Trump is abusive. We used to be able to count on people to love America, to genuinely love America. We used to be able to count on people if somebody was doing good work, was doing selfless good work for the highest good of all. We used to be able to count on the response to that being supportive and gracious and grateful. We used to be able to count on if somebody was doing good work selflessly, that would be met with acknowledgement and honor and respect. But we're getting like, put a death threat on that person because they're a good person. It's screwing with our minds. It's screwing with our minds, I'm telling you. You're going to a peace meeting? Good! I like it. So it's not easy, and I'm going to pull 3 cards on the collective energy right now. I have done readings. You've been here with me, most of you. I've done readings again and again and again, where I ask where the American people are as a collective energy mentally, and I see mass confusion. And I've seen it again and again. And then I ask about the Democratic message, the Democrats and their messaging. And I get the 4 of Cups consistently. So the 4 of Cups means not taking enough opportunities to get the word out. Now that is changing. That is changing. We're making some headway there. And we'll talk about the clown hearings today and what a circus of clowns it was. But first, we're going to pull 3 cards about the energy of the collective in America right now. I hope you had a great hump day. Do they still call it hump day? And I'm not sure how long Elliot, the Democracy Elf, and Judy are going to kind of hang around. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Oh, the doctor who was on Midas Touch said that we have to regroup to reestablish behavioral norms. That was probably on Sunday because I can't watch Anthony Davis is his name. The English guy. I can't watch him. He's too negative for me. So that must have been the show, right, Diane? I'm reading on the collective energy of America right now. The 4 of Swords, exhausted. The 4 of Swords, the collective energy in America is exhausted. The Judgment card is like, a lot of people are trying to assess, and figure out what's going on. The psychics on YouTube will get really busy because nobody really knows what's going on. You want me to change the elf's clothes? His head's already coming off. I don't know. I don't want to mess with him too much. That just happened. The news is blowing his head off. I understand that. The Knight of Swords. Okay. I want to tell you that most of the American people do want to see justice served. The majority want to see justice served. And just to make the point about how fascism works, they want you exhausted. They want us to be exhausted. No, the other little elf her name is Judy. My viewer's named her. So Dr. Lee was on it's Anthony Davis's show on Sunday night on Midas Touch, which I kind of opted out of a long time ago because he sounded too negative to me. Dale will never give up. I never give up either. I've got too much fixed energy in my chart to give up. for one thing. I don't think I'd give up anyway. This is life or death, you know? Yeah. They want us, the fascists want us exhausted. So as far as the collective energy for the American people, the Four of Swords is people are really exhausted. It's hard for people to keep up. So we have to figure out a way collectively to get the messaging out that is easy for people to grasp. I still think about going to dinner with a friend. This was on my birthday last year. I mean last year, but last month. When I recognized that this friend, I don't see her very much, but like we don't talk often, but when I realized that she was only getting the snippets from the news and she was way off in her perception of what's going on in this country, I do feel like more people are starting to pay attention and more people want justice. I have the Judgment card. So fascism wants everybody exhausted and confused. So it's kind of like having a YouTube channel and reading the chat and and answering questions and going into the psychic thing, and you know, that's what it feels like. It's like we have to keep our eye on the ball. Thank goodness for pro-democracy channels like Brian Tyler Cohen, Midas Touch, and all the Glenn Kirshner and all the rest of them. You know, just thinking about all the supportive people out there. We just have to join together. Yeah, Chris Christie's speech was good tonight. He hit all the really important points. I don't like when he goes after Biden, but he didn't do much of that. The other thing that I heard before I came on, and I'm just mortified by this, you all know, celebrate the beautiful, loving, kind people, that I was inspired to make that sign when I saw Josh Shapiro signing a bill in Pennsylvania with the school kids around him saying, I'm signing this bill and this is going to give you all free breakfast. And that's when I made that sign. And right before I came on, I heard about the Republicans in 15 Republican governors want to nix money that's already been allocated by the federal government for kids to have food. I'm gonna you're welcome, Dale. How much energy I have to keep going. I have no choice. 30 million Americans are food insecure. 1 in 8 households doesn't have enough food to eat. 15 Republican governors are refusing to feed the children. I'm not joking. 15 governors. You wonder if these Republicans have children? Yes. But let me tell you something. We're going to read on this. If that's where we are as a nation, that's devastating. And the other thing that I read today is there's a county in Florida who are going so crazy with the book banning. Guess what? Have you guys heard this? We'll get back to the food thing in a second. Have you guys heard what's being banned as a book in a county in Florida? I don't have it in front of me. I don't have the name of the county. Cruelty is a point, all right. I'm going to tell you what book they banned. The freaking dictionary. They won't let the children have a dictionary. No, I'm not talking about the Diary of Anne Frank. There's a county in Florida. Deeply sad. This is part of the trauma. This is part of the trauma. I just want to see if I screenshotted it. I don't think that I did. There's a county in Florida that are banning the dictionary. You gotta keep up. You gotta keep up. We're gonna read on the food insecurity. You all know that I know Sadhguru, that I met him in the late 90s when he came to Nashville and hung out there for a long time, many years. They have an ashram there. I've seen Sadhguru cry real tears, and I've mentioned this before. I've seen him cry real tears out of either joy or deep, deep, deep sadness and empathy. Back to the food issue. And when he was discussing what, like world hunger and people starving, the tears started coming down his face. Because he understands, maybe he has so much empathy, or anybody who's been hungry can relate to this, how painful it is to be hungry. And they want to keep food from the children, these GOP Republicans. I don't know who they think they're sticking it to. We're going to pull 3 cards on this. Yeah, and we're going to pull 3 cards on banning the dictionary. If you have any ideas of why they would ban a dictionary, let me know. Because if they're doing that... Oh, thank you for looking it up. Escambia County School District has banned the Merriam-Webster Elementary Dictionary, the American Heritage Children's Dictionary, and Webster's Dictionary for Children. Try to keep up. It's not easy. And if I were a teacher in Florida, I would leave the state. And that's happening too. So first we're going to read on the food situation. And it's not a lot of money that they're giving the kids to eat. Oh, is that Hazmat Gates area? Makes sense to me. He's going down. They need the dictionary. They need the damn dictionary. Why are they taking away the dictionary? And it hurts the poor. They're hurting the poor people. They're hurting the poor children. They're forcing women that don't have the means, that are in low-income communities, if they get pregnant, and I can't even figure out why we never hear about the male part of that equation, right? They're forcing them to have children and not letting the children have food. How do you do homework without the dictionary? I don't know. This is why I need you to join Grassroots of Democracy and just be pro-democracy or some other democracy organization. Okay, so this is about the food. They're going to cause more suffering. They're going to cause more suffering. I have the 9 of Swords. They're going to cause a lot of trauma and a lot of suffering to families that are food insecure. And I'm just going to say right now, I'm sorry that the news is bad. We'll get to the good news too. I'm sorry that the news, we'll get the bad stuff out of the way first, okay? How's that? Make a deal. We'll make a deal. Yeah, DeSantis required the dictionary to be banned. This is about the food. Not giving food to the children. The 9 of Swords, it's going to create very, very, very difficult situations. The 8 of Wands, in my head I have to think about the regular tarot. The 8 of Wands, there will be people working on rectifying this situation. I actually think that Joe Biden, I don't want to hear anything bad about Joe Biden anymore, because I know Joe Biden, the Biden administration is going to see to it that those kids have food. And Damon's asking for manicotti. I did make manicotti. I didn't even eat one for Christmas. Anyway. The Biden administration will see to it that these kids are fed. Kim Reynolds, and it's Iowa, right? Is she in Iowa? Kim Reynolds? Who ate it? Oh, I had a Christmas disaster and I just left it, and we don't have to get into it. But I heard it was good. I'll make some more. I'll make some more manicotti. President Biden is a good man with empathy. There's not one person in this country that shouldn't vote for Joe Biden. I'm serious when I say that. Oh, Damon, you crack me up. By the way, I just want to say thank you for your donations. If you send me a donation from PayPal, it's not very easy to send you a thank you. So if you sent a donation through PayPal, they don't have a way to just message you back. So thank you. So thank you. Fire to joy, please. We're working on it. Does the dictionary explain threesome? No, I don't think it does. But the dictionary has the word... The dictionary has the word sex in it. You mean the way the babies are made is in the dictionary? The word sex is in the dictionary? Oh my goodness. How about the Moms for Liberty? How about that fiasco? And one of the people involved in that, that guy Christian, his name is Christian. He had to resign. The Bible has a lot of sex in it. Yes, it's true. And gay, don't say gay, right. So we're going to pull 3 cards about this banning the dictionary. It's not about Joe Biden. I'm going to respond to Pisces creator. It's not about Joe Biden. It's not about Biden. It's about democracy versus fascism. It's not about Joe Biden. I said it in 2020. I'll say it again. You all know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But in 2020, I just want to say that I was begging and pleading. If you were with me then, you know that I was. I was begging and pleading with people to understand that we literally, in a way, literally, we had to stop the bleeding. We needed to get somebody, a wedge into the White House to stop the damage. Democracy versus dictatorship. I think it's becoming very clear. And for that, we can be grateful. It's extremely clear. Three cards about banning the dictionary and if that trend is going to continue. Tweet Scotchy remembers, I was begging. Joe Biden will be a placeholder. And I said the other night, he exceeded all my expectations. And your sisters don't get it, but I'll tell you something. It's worth putting the effort in because they will suffer. Because all these people that think they want Donald Trump, they will suffer. Because Donald Trump doesn't give a rat's ass about anybody but himself. And if people don't see that, they're brainwashed. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Group hug for all the innocent children. Okay. I can't do this all the whole entire PNN, but group hug for all the children. I'll do a group hug for all those beautiful children. You know, some of you have children, grandchildren. I have 3 grandnephews. Trump is a walking crime scene. Yeah. Joyce Vance says that. I think that's from her. Oh, look at all those hugs that Tammy's sending us. The banning the dictionary. Well, the way, Florida's so juggling so many things, and Florida's about to juggle a lot more things because we haven't touched on the weather, what's going on with the weather just yet, except that I did say in my 2024 predictions, maybe it doesn't take a psychic, but I go on my psychic impression. We will see land masses under the ocean this year. And if you live on the coast, or if you lived on the coast, you would see. I didn't take video of it, but there'll be plenty of opportunities. The waves were crashing over the roads today. So we'll get to the weather thing in a moment. But as far as banning the dictionary, a lot of people in Florida, because there's so much going on, they will not fight this. A lot of people in Florida will not fight this because it's just, there's too much to fight, right? What are you saying? The Old Moore's Almanac? What's the Old Moore's Almanac? Is that like the Farmer's Almanac? No, 2024 is going to be a big flood year. It's not going to wait until 2025. Are you providing us with the Moore's Almanac? You just wrote that twice. Oh, Florida got slammed yesterday. Yeah. And I saw a tornado in the tea leaves maybe a week ago. Remember? As far as the book bans, a lot of Floridians don't have time to fight back on this. The magician is, but some will. Not enough just yet. Enough will to keep the issue alive. But most people in Florida they're not inclined to do anything about these book bans. Most of the people. Tina said her internet went out for about 10 minutes. Are you having bad weather? Anyway, please hit the thumbs up while you're here. It's much appreciated. And Elliot, the democracy elf, whose head is falling off. It's hidden by the scarf. He's here to help me to get my numbers up. He's communicating it to you all telepathically. These are the cards. This is. I actually wasn't going to read these tonight because they're kind of dark, but then I'm like, we're kind of in dark times. So magicians, martyrs, and madmen tarot. So Damon's asking if these are the cards with the hot dudes for the lovers. And then I started to go through them. And they have, the lover card has two men, and then there's also another lover card that has two women, and then there's a lover card that's a heterosexual card. So these are interesting cards. Okay, so today, I need some tea. And thank you for hitting the thumbs up and for helping me. And I kept the lover card with the gay male couple and the gay female couple and the heterosexual couple. They're all in here. I haven't really gone through them. Here, this is the hetero lover card. But see, that says it says M plus F. So this is for heterosexuals, and then there's the others. It's pretty funny. They're woke tarot cards. Don't tell Ron DeSantis I'm reading woke tarot cards. Yeah, that did look, it was Evita. And their history, too. There's famous people in history. So, now for the good news. We are praying for President Biden every day. I don't know about you guys, but I pray the rosary every day for America and for Joe Biden and for protection. Every single day. And I know you do too. It made my day. I'm going to write a fan letter. This hearing today, this clown car hearing today. Oh my gosh. And I did post my favorite picture of 2024. There might be more, but if you saw my community page, this is my favorite picture. And it's only January. Did you guys see this picture? Oh my God. Look at Comer. At first, I turned it on this morning and I was like, I cannot stand the lying. The lying just makes me insane. It really drives me crazy when people lie, especially when it's one lie after another, after like Trump has a diarrhea of the mouth lie stream. Oh, by the way, I'm calling Trump the loser. Wow. I'm going to write a fan letter to every single one of those Democrats. Yeah. I'm going to write a letter to every single one of those Democrats that stood their ground and were like, are you effing kidding me? They were awesome. They were awesome. I'm gonna pull 3 cards, and when Hunter Biden showed up, that was just perfect. What were they gonna say? They kept saying they're trying to convict him for ignoring a subpoena. They're saying, and he's like, I'm not ignoring the subpoena. Here I am. That's the second time he showed up, and he was like, here I am, out in the public. Can't be much more transparent than that now, can we? They were mad that he showed up twice. The joke's on them. They have egg all over their face. And Marjorie Trader Greene was fit to be tied when she couldn't hold up the revenge porn pictures of Hunter Biden. She was unglued and tried to make it like he was afraid of her. 3 cards about the outcome, and I had said, I read on this Hunter Biden stuff, and I said it'll be over by February. And he walked out, and then she's trying to say he's chicken. He showed up, didn't he? Oh, he's afraid. He showed up. He's not that afraid. She was so depressed. And the nerve of them. Nancy Mace, the nerve. The nerve. Damon saying Estonia. Damon was in Estonia and says Estonia has a whole hour right after the news dedicated to Ukraine. That is really, I admire that. I think that's really good. Back to the hearing. And Moskowitz, let me see if I can show you that. I don't know if you can see this. Jared Moskowitz, look at his tie. Look at the bottom of the screen above where it says Ben Meiselas. Do you see it? Because James Comer called him a smurf at the last hearing. Nancy Mace, give me a break. I had no respect for Nancy Mace, but when she was up for election and she was not doing well, and she dropped any amount of pride that she possibly may possess, which I don't think it's very much. Did you hear Nancy Mace? She literally said, Hunter doesn't have the balls to do something. I don't know. It was horrifying. It was horrifying. I couldn't believe it. When Nancy Mace was up for re-election, what did she do? What did she do? She ran down to stand in front of Donald Trump's tower. And she was like, oh, I'm all about Trump. I'm all about Trump. Oh, I love Trump. Because I guess she wasn't being loyal enough. Oh, she'll lose. She'll lose. Milu, I agree with that. Yeah, she has issues, all right. She's cuckoo. Cuckoo crazy. We need to get the crazy people out of our government. Anyway, that hearing's going to go down in history. What's Amazon's sellout to Trump have to do with what is coming? I'm lost on that one. I don't know what you're talking about. Is Nancy Mace an alcoholic? Is that what you're saying? I'm not saying that. I don't know anything about that. If Nancy Mace thinks the Republicans will ever respect any woman, she's in for a big surprise. the Republicans in general have a history of misogyny. Yes, Mace, she's the one. Yes, she is the one. Dancing Warrior, she's the one that stood in front of Trump Tower after the loser primaried her. Yes. You can look it up. It was like, oh my God, I can't imagine. I am not a sellout. I don't even know what it is to be a sellout. If I was a sellout, I'd probably be a multi-millionaire right now. And I know you're all the same way. You wouldn't even be here on my channel if you could be bought. I mean, I'm just saying, we have a lot in common here, right? That's why we're all here. Welcome to our clique if you're new. This is our Save Democracy clique. We're letting more people in. But I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine selling my soul. There is no way. May should be based. You get a bell! 3 cards about the fallout. I'm totally ranting today. It's a rant day. It's a rant day. What's the outcome of this hearing going to be? Boebert's going to jail. Yeah, let's just to touch on that for a second. Last week, might have been exactly a week ago, we were reading on Lauren Boebert, and I said, I see Boebert in trouble with the law, and it had to do with her ex and her son, and I saw Boebert in trouble with the law, and it had to do with her family somehow, right? Do you guys remember that? I saw jail for her. But what I was seeing was about her family, and then lo and behold, she punches, what is his name, Jason, in the face. Yeah. Aw, thank you. You're so sweet. That was so sweet. I'm gonna read what you said. So proud of how I am helping save the USA. I'm good, and being good does not mean weak. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. You're all sweet. That's why I come back. So anyway, lo and behold, after I said that, lo and behold, I didn't think she was going to punch him in the face, but she did. I'm going to ask the pendulum. I saw what you said. No worries. I saw, even though it was a typo. Is Lauren Boebert going to serve jail time? Yes. Tell me you remember. The cards I'm pulling are actually about the hearing, the outcome of these sham hearings. Here's the deal. These sham hearings, there's something behind it. And I feel, okay, is it, because I have the High Priestess here. These sham clown hearings, there's something behind the scenes. Behind the curtain, there's something going on with the GOP, and I'm just tuning in, and I feel like it has to do with covering up January 6th. MAGA took away the color red. Those sham hearings are a cover-up, but it's beyond just a distraction. I want to tap more into that. What is going on there? Heavy duty. These clown Republicans, these Putin Republicans, heavy duty. You better make this work or else. Is it coming from Trump? I get that it's coming from. It's coming from Trump. Heavy duty threats. And you know what? Last night at our Grassroots Democracy meeting, Kathy brought up our resident astrologer, who's also a lawyer, like Warren. The things that Jack Smith cited that would be at risk if Trump got immunity for having been president were strikingly specific, as if Jack Smith has knowledge of, I'm just saying for entertainment purposes only, but when you look at how specific Jack Smith, outlined, if a president had immunity, then this would be at risk, and this would be at risk, and this would be at risk. And I feel like with these sham clown hearings, I feel like, for entertainment purposes only, the feeling is that Trump has threatened their lives. That's my feeling. Now, it might not be literally, but I'm sorry. He did not care if they hanged Mike Pence. He didn't care. Let's not forget. Tell your friends that hate Biden so much. Trump watched as people were being maimed and bloodied, and one police officer had his eye gouged out. One of them died. Several committed suicide. Trump watched when that was going on. They're stuck on something. They had the gallows. And Trump saw all this. And I heard from several different sources, he rewound the good parts, the most violent parts, because he wanted to watch it again. And they were all under a tent having a big bash. They were having a party. And Kimberly Gargoyle, properly misnamed by us, they're having a party. And someone's like, oh, Kimberly dancing. She's like dancing. And people are being bludgeoned. And can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yes, I think that Jack Smith was outlining Trump's crimes. That's my sense. He would have somebody assassinated. The names he's called our president, the names he's called Joe Biden. It's so dark. Anyway, the GOP that are holding these hearings are under a threat from Trump. Jeffrey Epstein was murdered, Suzanne saying, and I won't say that, you said it. I'll just say, you said it. I didn't say it. Trump is jealous of, the loser is jealous, Gloria saying, he's jealous of our president. He's jealous of anybody. If you were in a room with the loser and you were saying something and there were a bunch of people in a meeting and people were looking at you because you were saying something, the loser would be jealous. We've got to talk these people off the crazy ledge, the ones that are in your family and your neighbors, and we got to find a way. We will find a way. I will read on it. We will figure it out. How to talk to these people. Because what I have gotten hints of on many occasions, what I've gotten hints of is a catastrophe that was going to make people wake up. We'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It could be a slow-moving catastrophe. It could be global climate change. But I feel like they're getting death threats from the loser. Oh, he's going to be called the loser on my channel from this point forward. And I'll just interchange it with Trump just so you know who I'm talking about, but I don't even think I need to. Yeah, I agree, Dale Johnson. I feel there are enough smart enough people running the show that these yahoos will freaking not get away with the whatever that is that you wrote. Melania's mother passed away. And just to remind you, a few short weeks ago, the loser's sister passed away. He never mentioned it. And when the loser's brother passed away, he really didn't care. And when the loser's ex-wife mother of his children, most of them, passed away. He buried her in the corner of his golf course. So anybody out there that thinks that he's nothing short of being a heinous monster, we need to talk to them. And after a horrible hurricane in Puerto Rico, he responded. He showed his empathy and caring by throwing paper towels at the people that were suffering because he's a racist. It's taken me forever to answer questions tonight. I'm totally aware of that. It was a very emotional news day in so many ways. But these hearings are because Trump is threatening these Republicans. Thank you, Joanna, for reminding me to do a commercial. I gotta think about my income sometimes. The Three of Pentacles is that the Democrats are building from this. They're building from this hearing. They know what to do. Warren, I'm not going to answer that question. The Page of Swords, Jim Comer is fading. He's fading. He is their master. It's true. He's a cult leader. Yeah, the loser told them after a shooting in Iowa at a high school and a 6th grader got murdered. The loser says they just need to get over it. Karen, you probably haven't been with me, but I don't answer questions about Ivana's casket. When people were saying stuff about that, I never got that there was anything in there, and then everyone just kept asking, so I just... Trump is a monster. He's a monster. He's a monster. If you took an MRI of his brain, you would see a sociopath murderer brain. Because his brain is different. Hey, Bon Blue. Nice to see you. I have been here for almost an hour, and it feels like I've been here for 10 minutes. Yeah, no worries. It's a gross topic. Are they going to exhume Ivana's casket and look in it to see what's in there? Yikes. Oh, thank you. Your handle is Hump Day. I love it. There's a store on Main Street that's going out of business. The owner got very old, so I got a bunch of nice scarves. Thank you. Yeah, no worries. You can ask me anything. Like if Warren, I tell him, I'm not answering that. That's the worst you'll get. He knows why. Let's pull 3 cards about Hunter Biden. I can't watch. I know Lois wants me to watch Dr. Lee on Weekend Report, but I can't stomach Anthony Davis, and I don't. So often I'll listen to these things, and it's very rare that I hear something that I don't intuitively know, and I don't mean that like I'm smarter than everyone. I just mean like to me it's obvious. Question, how many tattoos do I have? 1 on each arm, that's it. Hunter Biden. Remember, we did a show with Kathy Beale, and we looked at Hunter Biden's chart a few weeks ago, and we saw the Hunter Biden's Mars is in Aries. That is not something... No, Melania's mother's not going to be next to Ivana. Melania's mother's from Slovenia. I got lost. Too many topics on my brain. And Terry's not here tonight. Why did the dad get a tattoo of a calendar on his back? Because he wanted a permanent date. What? Hunter, thank you. I've got 5 different topics up here I'm commenting on. I get myself in trouble. Focus. Hunter Biden. I'm back. I'm back to my focus. For those of you that don't like the, the back and forth and the, zaniness of the live streams, no worries. I'm going to be doing videos that I upload too. And while I'm thinking about it, I do have my 2024 prediction video up there. I'm not reading about Ivana's casket. I don't want to hear about Ivana's casket. Hunter Biden. This is hard. Now, it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't like this card. I almost don't read this deck because some of the cards are just too violent. But let me just wave it at you and say, this card is a 10 of Swords, and in this deck it's Bridget Bishop, who was hanged in Salem for, it was a witch hunt, right? So it's appropriate. Yeah, I know Governor Abbott is going rogue. We may read about that in a minute. So as far as Hunter Biden goes, this is an actual witch hunt. Going back to Nancy Mace, she literally sat there and said that Hunter Biden has white privilege. Why don't they ever say anything about the Trump family? It's like it doesn't exist. It's like, the corrupt crime family is never mentioned. These fascist Putin Republicans that have their heads up, who's, what. Oh, it's Hunter Biden that has white privilege. Oh, but what about Ivanka? What about Jared? What about the loser himself? Greg Abbott, hang on. I'm reading about Hunter, but hang on. Greg Abbott stated he will use the $19 million he raised in 2023 to target anti-voucher Republicans. I don't know what an anti-voucher Republican is. Yeah, Marge is saying something, the same thing. What about the Trump kids? Talk about white privilege. Yeah, they completely, like Nancy Mace, get a grip. Yeah, no white privilege there. What's that saying? Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black, right? That's an old saying. So Hunter Biden, it's, what's going to happen is the Sun and the Lover card. People are going to be sympathetic to Hunter Biden. So the Sun is going to be shown on Hunter, on the whole clowns, the clown show. What's really going on there? And people are going to be sympathetic to Hunter Biden. I'm telling you, that's going to be over by February. Yeah, I don't know enough about these vouchers, but let's just... I know the cards are they're pretty gruesome. I understand that. It was just, there's so much stuff going on that's just so, heavy. So I thought I'd read these, but I'll switch them out. The hanged Bridget Bishop is, that one, that's a hard one. So that's why we have different decks. But before I go and switch decks, it's time for my commercial. Please hit the thumbs up. I'll make the commercial brief. But this is how I earn my living doing readings. And I feel like when I don't have a full week of readings, I feel like my talent's being wasted. I could be helping you. I haven't erased this yet, so I just want you to know, my guide said to keep this up here. Hope Restored is the message for this year. That's what I was told. Evelyn likes the cards. They're a little strong. The 10 Commandments. Oh, and by the way, just about the losers, Nobody's come up with a crime that the loser hasn't committed yet. And I'm looking for somebody to come up with a crime that the loser hasn't committed. Tarot readings, tea leaf readings, spiritual coaching, spiritual life coaching. It will change your life. It does. I have 3 decades of experience, people. 3 decades. Don't be sitting there needing help and knowing that I can help you. Free and paid class. There's a free class on my website, and here's how I know nobody's going to my website, or very few people. There's a free class on my website. You have to go to psychicannetteDion.com. PSYCHIC. I'm going to get the QR code up here eventually. So anyway, the free class starts on the new moon next month, which is the Chinese New Year, the year of the wood dragon. Members of my channel receive an affirmation in their inbox daily. It makes your day better. And Church of Spirituality is every Sunday at 1. That also improves your life. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com is where you go to save our democracy. Tomorrow night we have our discussion group. Please come. We need to talk, right? Loser has finished his 10 commandment bucket list. Does the devil have one? Thank you for joining. You will get an affirmation to start your day in your inbox. They come to me and I write them. They come to me and I'm like, what a great way to start the day. Let's do this. I'm going to switch decks. We're going to do a couple more questions. We're going to read tea leaves and then I'll let you go. Or you can go whenever you want. I mean, one of the reasons I'm going to be doing short videos and interspersed is because short videos get more, they get more mileage. Let's just go to the generic. Brighter weight. You've heard stories that the loser is a klepto and just takes things from wherever he stays? Is that who you're talking about, the loser? Let's pull 3 cards on the loser. Oh, Diane, I can't go there. That's too dark. Euthanizing people that don't need to be. Yeah. There's only so much dark ick that I can do in one PNN. Oh, Innocent Potato. I like your handle. Watches Church of Spirituality. Nice! And the little chants help you. Everything that I do for free, like Church of Spirituality and, stuff, helps you. Your affirmations, if you remember. Have you heard about the lonesome loser? Somebody's putting that up there. Yeah, that about sums it up. Donald Trump. This week. We'll just read on this week for the loser. Okay, this week for the loser. He's really screwing up. Like his lawyer really screwed up. Thank you, Karen. Let's celebrate their 3rd super on live stream. Oh, I got a little notice. We're celebrating you. I don't really know what that means, but I'll figure it out. Cards on the loser. Delusional loser. He's the delusional loser. And the judgment card. This is where he is this week. Missed an opportunity. Good. He shouldn't really have even bothered to try to get immunity. Because it made him look worse. It's a super chat. Oh, thank you. But judgment. The judgment is coming for him. The judge. And I'm telling you, when you look at Alina Habba, I know it's difficult. Catherine's ready for a dad joke. When you look at Alina Habba, literally, this is what came out of her mouth. Trump's loser lawyer, who publicly professed that she'd rather be She'd rather be attractive, physically attractive, than to be smart, given if she were given a choice. National alert, Republican governors in 15 states reject some. Are you just showing up? I just spent a long time ranting about that. Maybe you were late, Shockwave. Exactly what you... Okay, let me just recap, because you must have just shown up. I spent a lot of time ranting about that, the children's food. And I said Biden will step in to help. Okay. Damon says, I think the loser chose judge's decision as an underhanded threat. Oh, okay. Yeah, Shockwave, you were late. Sorry you were late. And then we gave a group hug for the children. And I mentioned that sign behind me was I made it after, because I was so inspired by Josh Shapiro when he was signing a bill so the kids could get breakfast at school. That's what inspired me to make that sign. And it's staying up there because we need to focus on the positive people. But as far as the loser goes, yeah, I'm getting this card too for him. I dropped the other card, but I'm getting this card. It's bad. The Judgment, and this is the card of he's in a fog. He's delusional. Warren wants to do another group hug before we leave, which is going to be in a little bit. So let's just have a moment to say to one another that we want kindness. We want kindness. Better dad joke. Why did the dad bring a ladder to the bar? Because he heard the drinks were on the house. I should have gotten that one before I read it. Honestly. Thank you, Awake, for the donation. Barbara's very late. Well, good thing we're still going. National Association of Realtors president says she's resigning after blackmail threat. Blackmail threat? What are they trying to blackmail her with? Thank you, Luna Storm. That's a cool name too. You guys have cool names. Most benevolent outcome for all. When is a door not a door? I don't know. Let's pull 3 cards. We're going to pull 3 cards. Oh, by the way. I remember just like yelling at the people in Texas, not that I'm mad or anything, but I'm just out of fear. When it's a jar. Good one. Good one. Because I knew that there was going to be more bad weather coming for Texas. This was, after the deep freeze in Texas. And I was really worried about Texas because I knew it wasn't going to be the only time that was going to happen, that they'd have a deep freeze. And Ted Cruz isn't going to help, right? Hang on, I have a tea leaf in my mouth. It's bound to happen. So, yeah, we're gonna have to help each other. Because Greg Abbott, he's not gonna do anything. Abbott he's a what do you call it when somebody likes to see people suffer? Sadistic. He's a sadist. Yeah, he's a sadist. Anyway, we have to focus on kindness. Thank you, Rose Blue. I thought of it. Because the more we focus on kindness individually, the more kindness is going to show up. Because we are energy and we're a collective energy. Remember, not too long ago, like in the whole scheme of things, not too long ago, there was a trend for, remember random acts of kindness? We just have to get it started again. I'm going to pull 3 cards sadist was the word I was looking for Abbott. Dad joke. Why did January break up with February? I shouldn't have to look. Because I had to march on. Because I needed some space before March. I kind of got it. Yes, let's start a kindness campaign. The freeze is going to be bad. I mean, we got to help people. We have to help one another. We have to. I'm going to read on Greg Abbott. I mean, and all these fascist Republicans are, you know, of all in all types of offices. Let's not forget, we're starting to kind of normalize it without realizing it, that they're supposed to be helping. They got voted in to work for their constituents who are paying their paychecks with their taxes. Is it me? This is about Abbott. Oh dear. Well, here's the thing. This is people in the cold. And I grew up in Massachusetts. I was born in Michigan, but I grew up in Massachusetts. And here the homes are insulated. So easy to be kind. It's nice to be nice. My dad has always said that. It's nice to be nice. And you know, I just remember early on in life, in elementary school, I just decided that my life would be better if I was nice, that I wanted to be known as a nice person. Yeah, I haven't read on Virginia Fox, the Shut Up Lady. Well, we might have to save that till Friday. But didn't you? I mean, we can't normalize that. It's great to be awful. You know, Karen lives in Massachusetts. We can't normalize that. Yeah, like the Shut Up Lady, like Mike Johnson. What are you saying? Greg Abbott's planning to accept the VP for 45. Did he invite him to be the VP? Oh my gosh, Moms for Liberty, they're a mess. This is about Greg Abbott. I hate to tell you, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Look these are people in the cold. You can't, and you know, and I was saying, you know, I grew up here. We have insulation. I lived in Tennessee. I was colder than I've ever been in my life in the wintertime. The houses in Texas are not equipped for this. And here, I heard the deep freeze coming here. I heard in Iowa it was going to be below zero. Or below freezing, close to zero. Hope Abbott's tires go flat. I haven't heard about Abbott being a potential VP for the loser. And you know what? I don't even go down that road of the loser being on the ballot. Because he's a loser. As a result of how bad it's going to be in Texas, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it doesn't take a psychic to tell you that a deep freeze coming to Texas is going to be a strain on the energy grid, and they're independent and afterwards the good people of Texas. He needs to go. The good people of Texas are going to come together, but it's not going to be easy. Betty's in Texas and has a generator. Are you in Texas? Sorry if I've asked you a bunch of times. It's hard to keep up. Yes, I heard Chris Christie's speech. He's suspending his campaign, and I thought it was a good speech. Oh, and somebody took a class with Kathy Beale. Thanks for saying that. Kathy Beale and I are having a show next Tuesday, which is the 16th, and we're changing the time to 4 p.m. Eastern. But ahead of that, tomorrow, I'm going to read the tea leaves in a sec. Tomorrow, I'm doing a show. I've invited Catherine Glass, the other psychic in Massachusetts that I know that has 30 years of experience. I think she has a little more. I mean, I'm going on 31 years of experience doing readings for pay. We're having a show tomorrow, and that's going to be, so it's going to be, tomorrow will be 1/11, January 11th, and it's going to be at 1, so it's easy to remember. I thought Chris Christie was the smartest of the GOP contenders also, and I wish he had gotten further, but I think Chris Christie will put his energy into saving democracy, which is good. Yeah, so tomorrow, it's going to be a conversation between two psychics like before, but what we're going to do tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Time in the afternoon, she's from Concord. She lives in Concord, Catherine Glass. And so we're going to do a show tomorrow at 1. And you can always watch it afterwards. And Kathy Beal, the astrologer, will be on, and I'll remind you, on the 16th to talk about the full moon. Let's read some tea leaves, shall we? I can't believe how fast this show has gone tonight. Catherine Glass, yep. And not to confuse you, I'll remind you too. On the 20th, Marby's in Texas too. Man, I hope you guys can get warm. They swatted Jack Smith's house. Yeah, this has got to stop. The more the GOP screams, the more they are tanking. That is true. On the 20th, I'm having a show about staying healthy with Catherine Glass's husband, who has a healing center in Concord, Mass. So there's that. The tea leaves. Well, of course, we have a lot of energy in Mercury. That looks like at first it looked like a dog. It does kind of look like a dog with a very big head. We have a lucky shamrock here, and then, so we have a bit of a stroke of luck here. How do I put this? I think we're going to breathe a sigh of relief, and we don't wish bad on anybody, but it would be a sigh of relief. It would make sense. It's logical. That we're going to start to see that Trump isn't well enough to run for president. The loser isn't well enough to run for president. We're going to start to hear about that. The moon, there's a message before the full moon, we're going to hear about some kind of a document. The full moon is on the 25th. We're going to hear about some kind of a document that's going to be pivotal in the case against the loser. But we'll be having PNN before that. Do you guys see anything that you want to point out? I like to let you read. I see an arm there. There's an arm. Hang on. Because arm definitely has a meaning, and I like to go to the book. See the arm? Like there's an elbow. Let me just look real quick. Let me put this down for a sec. Don't leave yet, I'm almost done. How do you spell arm in it? Okay. Thinking of too many things. I have the loser on the brain. When you find an arm in the cup, you must look to see where it is pointing. An arm pointing upwards means new directions, often spiritually or creatively. Well, that's upwards. New directions spiritually and creatively. You see an archer? Okay, so the arm is there. You see an archer? That would mean, I see angels in the Mercury. We're going to see a lot of angels coming, and human angels coming in for the rescue. And what else do we have here? Yeah. This once again, I get there's going to be a lot of talk about guns. And are you guys talking about staying warm with bubble wrap? This is making me so sad. I see a lot of talk around guns, and this might have something to do with people being SWAT. This is a new thing now. To send a SWAT team to a home just to harass. And I want you all to know that these people that are issuing death threats and swatting people like judges and prosecutors, they're a bunch of freaking cowards. That's just what I want to say about that. But I do see more of that. But we have a lot of angels helping us. I do see the Archer. I see it now. Trump is doing the birther thing to Haley. It's getting old, isn't it? It's getting old. And they will be able to track that. And you know, these fascist Republicans, they're always complaining about the FBI and the DOJ and Secret Service and Homeland Security. They're always complaining about these agencies that are keeping them safe. Just like they didn't, you know, have the backs of the Capitol Police that saved their lives. Don't even get me started about Marjorie Taylor Greene and what she was saying today about the officer who had to shoot Ashley Babbitt. He had to. A lot of people would have died that day. Yep, these swattings are costing a lot of money. Please come to, especially to our 20 on Tuesdays. You'll receive our guided meditation recording that night or the next day, and we're doing a lot of really important work. You all motivate me, you all inspire me, so please join grassrootsofdemocracy.com. This is the most important year of your life, I promise. It's the most important year of your life. This is about our lives, all right? So I love you all so much. Somebody's saying I'm frozen. I don't think I'm frozen, but I'm finished for now. Until next time, come to Grassroots of Democracy tomorrow night. We have a really good discussion group. All right. Namaste.